They had no idea that the man sitting alone at the terrace edge had quietly built the technology platform every single company in this room depends on. You set your espresso down and watch the Mediterranean shimmer beneath the morning light. The invitation arrived 6 weeks ago, a private technology summit at Villa Lumiere, one of the oldest. You built Novosphere 15 years ago from a rented studio above a laundromat in Lyon. Today, it processes 42% of the world's cloud infrastructure. Nobody at this summit has ever seen your face. That is precisely how you prefer it. The villa is breathtaking. Marble columns, jasmine-draped balconies, 300 guests moving in tailored suits. You recognize faces from across the room. A fintech CEO who once pitched you for $12 million and never knew where the wire came from. A logistics founder whose Series B you led anonymously. They have absolutely no idea you are here. A man approaches you within minutes. He is late 40s, broad-shouldered, silver-haired, wearing a navy double-breasted suit and a gold watch that catches every light in the room. He scans you once from head to shoe and his polished smile tightens. He extends a hand the way powerful men do when they have already decided you are unimportant. His name is Edouard Marchand, and everyone in this room defers to him. He asks what firm you represent, his gaze already drifting past your shoulder. You tell him you are between things at the moment. His eyes return to you for exactly 1 second before he pivots towards someone more valuable. You feel absolutely nothing. You have had this conversation more times than you can count. Across the room, you see her. She is mid-20s, olive skin, dark curly hair, wearing a navy blazer over a white dress. She stands beside a small presentation screen with a tablet in her hands, and Edouard Marchand is walking directly toward her. Her pitch is about water purification infrastructure for rural communities across 3 continents. She has real data, a working prototype, and the kind of clarity in her voice that takes years to earn. You stop watching the sea and you listen. Edouard cuts her off before she reaches her second slide. He does not raise his voice. He never needs to. He simply says the market is too small, the technology too early, and that he has seen it all before. He waves a hand as if erasing her from the room. 2 nearby investors chuckle softly. She presses her lips together and closes the tablet, and something in that gesture, quiet, dignified, and completely devastated, lands directly in your chest. You step forward without planning to. Your feet carry you across the marble floor until you are standing beside her, and you ask quietly if you can see the slide she was showing when he interrupted. She looks up at you. She looks at your plain linen shirt and ordinary face, and for a moment she hesitates. Then she opens the tablet. The data is genuinely exceptional. You ask her 3 precise questions. She answers all 3 without once looking away. Edouard returns and finds you still standing with her. His expression moves from amusement to irritation in a single breath. He says, politely but loudly enough for others to hear, that this area is reserved for verified summit investors only. You turn to face him and ask, calmly, what threshold he uses to define verified. He smiles the way powerful men smile when they want to end a conversation without starting one. You nod once and excuse yourself quietly. You walk to the far terrace alone and take out your phone. You make 2 calls. The first lasts 40 seconds. The second lasts 11. Then you put the phone in your pocket and look at the horizon for a long, still moment. The sun drops lower over the Riviera. Inside, the keynote hall is filling with guests. Somewhere behind you, Edouard is laughing at something. You take 1 slow breath of salt air and jasmine. Then you go back inside. You find her in a side corridor packing her bag to leave. She is composed, but her eyes carry the specific exhaustion of being dismissed by the same kinds of people for the same reasons 1 too many times. You sit beside her. You tell her the technology is genuinely sound, and the market is not small. It is invisible to people who have never had a look for it. She searches your face, trying to understand who you are. She asks your name. You give it simply. She does not recognize it, and you are genuinely glad. You tell her to keep the tablet out and have the pitch ready 1 more time before this evening ends. Trust you. The keynote hall fills completely. 500 chairs beneath 3 blazing crystal chandeliers. The arched French doors open onto the Riviera sunset. The conference host takes the podium, silver-streaked hair, black dress, the kind of presence that silences a room without asking. She speaks about the builders the world never sees coming, about capital that moves quietly and changes everything, about the truth that real power does not announce itself. You sit in the very back row, your linen shirt unchanged, watching the stage. She pauses. She looks down at a card handed to her from the wings. She looks back up at the audience slowly. She says she has just been informed that one of the world's most quietly significant technology investors is in this room tonight. A murmur passes through the entire hall. Edouard straightens sharply in his front row seat. Phones appear across the crowd. The conference host says the name has been verified by the summit board. Then she says it, your full name, clearly, into the microphone. Every head in the hall turns toward the back row. Someone near you whispers Novosphere, and the word travels through the crowd like a wave breaking on stone. You sit completely still. You do not wave. You do not stand. You simply exist. The young founder is 3 seats away. You watch the exact moment she understands. Her eyes go wide. She looks at you. Her mouth opens. Then slowly, quietly, she begins to smile, the real kind that starts deep in the eyes. The conference host asks you to please come forward. You rise without any hurry, walk the full length of that hall in your plain white linen shirt. And the only sound is 500 people holding completely still, watching every single step. You take the microphone. You look out at the most powerful gathering on the French Riviera, and you say only one thing. The young woman with the water tech pitch should please come to the stage right now. A pause. Then the room moves. She walks the aisle in her navy blazer, while Edouard sits stone still in his seat. You shake her hand at the podium and announce full funding. Your network, your team, beginning Monday. The hall erupts. You never needed anyone to know who you were. But tonight it mattered. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe.